All right, guys, this is lesson 8 classwork that we're going to do together. You need to be writing what I write on this classwork because there's a lot going on here. So it says in example 1, in the picture below, we have a triangle ABC that has been dilated by a scale factor of 1/2. It is denoted by A prime, B prime, C prime, and then we also have a triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, which is congruent. Describe the sequence that would map triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime onto triangle ABC. So if you look, like on mine, it's really small, it's hard to see. But if you look at your triangle A double prime, B double prime, C prime, you're looking at this one right here that I circled. We first need to start by writing down where all those little points are. That way we can go ahead and try to get it back to this bigger triangle. So if you look, we're looking for where these points are. And so to get to point A double prime, you have to go over 11, up 4. So I'm going to write that down because we're going to need that later. To get to B double prime, you have to go over 13, up 5. I'm starting at 0, 0 every time. I'm just going over and up until I get to that point. And then for C, I'd have to go over 15, up 3. So you need to have this written on your paper as well. Don't just sit there and watch. Write things down, okay? So our scale factor was 1/2. To get it back to the original, you want to do the reciprocal of that scale factor, which would be flipping that fraction. So instead of 1/2, it would be 2/1. So we're now going to have a scale factor of 2 and see what happens, where these points go. So I'm going to take everything up here and multiply it by 2. And this is going to be, so I'm going to just put a little 3 by there because that's how many primes we would be working with right now. That 3 looks really bad. But anyway, I'm taking them all times 2. So 11 times 2 is 22. 4 times 2 is 8. 13 times 2 is 26. 5 times 2 is 10. 15 times 2 is 30. 3 times 2 is 6. So we do actually have enough room on here to plot these points and see where this would look like it would be. So I'm going to go over 22, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this would be called A. And you would put 3 primes by there, but I'm going to put a little 3 just so I don't have to. I'm going to go over 26, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This would be B. And then over 30, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you want this to look like a triangle, so I'm going to try my best to make this nice and neat. It should not be like wavy lines. You should probably use your straight edge or a ruler or a piece of paper or something. But now you can see the first step that we took was dilate it by a scale factor of 2. So we are in the process of getting it to be the same size and sitting right on top of this shape right here. So then what we would have to do is we would have to translate this image. And translating means scooting it over or sliding it over. So I'm going to figure out how to get from A to A. I'd have to slide it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'd have to go left 20 and down 2, and then my shape is right where the other shape would be. Okay, so now we're doing this one. So read through the problem really quick. Okay, triangle ABC was dilated from center 0. So first of all, you have to figure out where your original triangle is, which is the one that doesn't have any primes next to it. It's this one right here. We make it half of the size, and then we get this one. And they're telling us this one right here is also the same size as this one. But we want to get from this little one down here back to this one up here. So we're going to have to do the same thing we did last time. We need to write down the spot where this triangle is at. So to get to A double prime, you have to go over 3, up 2, over 4, up 3 to get to B, over 5, up 1 to get to C. So what we want to do is we want to get it to be the same size as the original. So our first step is we're going to do the reciprocal of our scale factor, which is right up here. So we're going to dilate it by a scale factor of 2 because 1 over 2 written as the reciprocal would be 2 over 1. Okay, so I'm going to take all of these that we just wrote down and I'm going to multiply them all by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 2 is 10, 1 times 2 is 2. So now I have all my new points that I need to plot back on this graph. So I'm going to go starting at 0, 0, over 6, up 4, making a point. This will be called A. Over 8, up 6, making a point and calling it B. You could put the little 3's next to it if you wanted to. I'm just going to skip that for now. Over 10, up 2, this would be called C, and you want it to look like your original triangle that you started with. So the first thing we did was we dilated by a scale factor of 2 to get it back to the right size, and now we need to figure out how to scoot it over to get it back to where the other one is. So I know I'm just going to pick one of my points. I'm going to pick point B. I know I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So translate, that just means slide. We had to go up 4. And then we'd have to go left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Left 12. And then we know that they're the exact same triangle. Next one, we have these two triangles right here. The first one that we start with is this little one right here. We need to write down how we know that these two are the same. So it says describe a sequence that would show that ABC and A is similar to ABC prime. Similar just means they're the same shape but different sizes. So we are going to start measuring different side lengths here. From A to B right here is 2 units long. If you can see that, it's 1, 2. Okay, so now we're going to write from A to B prime is how long. So here's A, here's B. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units long. You can only do this with the 2 non-diagonal lines. So we can't do this from A to C, but we're going to do it from A to B, and we're also going to do it from B to C, and from B to C prime. From B to C is 1, 2, 3 units long. And from B prime to C prime, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units long. So remember, to find the, you want it to make sure they're similar, you want to make sure they have the same ratio. So what is 2 divided by 6? Well, that is 1/3. Then I'm going to do the other one. What is 3 divided by 9? Well, that is also 1/3. So we know that the sides are proportionate, which means that those two are similar. So now they're going to give us, I think this is on the next page, they're going to give us one that is not on a graph. You just have to measure the side lengths. So we're going to start from A to B. Here's A to B. It is 15 units. We're going to divide that from a to b prime. So I'm going to look at this one and see, okay, a to b prime is 10. If you had a calculator and you took 15 divided by 10, you would get 1.5. Then I'm going to do the same thing from b to c. Notice how I'm going to put all the ones without the prime on the top. If you just have to be consistent. You can't do one with the prime on the top and then one with the prime on the bottom. You have to do it consistent every single time. And then I'll do b to c prime on the bottom just like I did this one. So b to c is 6. B to c prime is 4. And 6 divided by 4 is also 1.5. So now we have one more thing we have to check, and that is a to c divided by a to c prime. So a to c is 18 units. A to c prime is 10 units. And if I took 18 divided by 10 in my calculator, I would get 1.8. So the question they wanted to know is, are these two triangles similar? Well, looking at the first two times we did it, it looked like they would be, but then this third one came up as 1.8. So these are not similar. The only way they would be similar is if we would have gotten 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. But since we got two different numbers for our ratios, these are not similar. Okay? So you should have another link on Google Classroom that you need to do for the remainder of the class. So make sure your notes are filled out and then go to Google Classroom and do what else I left you.